Welcome back to Launch Your Light, a podcast for the mystical and magical woman here to share her soul purpose. Okay, episode 2, guys, here we go. This entire episode, I want to focus on what many are calling the Great Awakening. It has many different names, but I'm gonna stick with the Great Awakening because I like the sound of that. It sounds a lot less scary or doom and gloom than some of the other things, some of the other names it has. I also like to call this the Great Unraveling, right? Doesn't that give you a good visual? We're seeing things spiral out of control on the planet, and it's kind of needed, right? Things and ways of living that are not working anymore. So, we're going to talk about the Great Awakening today. And I had to kick off the beginning of the book with this because I was like, I can't write a book about soul purpose and not talk about the current times we're in. So, soul purpose was never like a trendy topic for me. It's actually what I've dedicated my life to. And thank God things like astrology and human design really helped me understand just how deeply ingrained this is in my work that I'm here to do. For example, for all the human design people out there, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but my sun is my sun is in my G center. I want to say G spot, LOL. It's not G spot. It's like G center. And basically that explains like my purpose is purpose, right? Same thing with my astrological chart. It's like I'm here to really help people navigate the depth of these transformations, of this journey, of this soul purpose journey. So I am glad when I look around and see how many people are talking soul purpose, and there are so many people who talk about it in their work as well. And I'm thankful of that. I'm glad that it has become a normal thing, right? Because it's giving millions of people that stretch, that reach, the ability to understand there is a different way. There's something here. There's a reason you came here, right? So I am here to help and activate and assist with this great awakening. It's literally what my soul is here to do. And it's why it's in the book immediately. And it's why this is episode 2. So after years of professionally working with purpose, and I'd really have to say, like, I'm almost 40, I have like 40 years of situations that I've attracted into my life. When I was a little kid, I would have these really in-depth mystical conversations with people. To all the way in my 20s and 30s, I'd be out at bars helping people start a business. I'd be out at bars brunch talks talking to women about leaving their abusive relationships and divorce, and they actually would go and do it. It was like I was this initiator. I would spark even within a conversation. Yes, and I'd say even at like seedy places like bars in New York City, and I don't know, all of the places I went, I had a great past, and those stories will come up on here too. But I just had this like spark that would give someone, it would kick them off, it would initiate something. It was an activation. So I am an activator and initiator. And I have been doing it my whole life, like I just can't stop. So I was able to really turn this into work and to help people really specifically, strategically, and professionally with this. And I knew it was time for me to get more of this information out to the masses deep down in my bones. I knew the topic of soul purpose was monumental and meant too much for me to keep like trying to fit into social media posts and workshops and just like conversations and one-on-ones. So I decided to write a book about it. And now I'm recording a podcast on it. And this just fills me up. This feels good. And this is part of my soul purpose. LOL. It's a big spiral for me here. So my question to you is right away, what's that spiral for you? What's that thing that you keep getting called to do, or that people keep reaching out to you for, or you've been doing it now that you hear me talk about my stories of doing this like randomly in grocery stores or in bars or at brunches or wherever. What is your thing? Where has this been happening for you? So my goal in these creations I have is to demystify soul purpose and to simplify the steps to living an aligned life. Sounds juicy, sounds exciting, can also be terrifying. Not gonna lie, shit gets wild when you step on this path. But before we dive into the mysterious realms of soul purpose, I really sense we need to first get clear about this unique period of time we have chosen to incarnate in. And that means to be born into human form on planet Earth. Like, why? You might be asking, why are we alive right now? Like, why did I come here? When you start to learn that like you chose this, and most spiritual beliefs align with this, and most religious beliefs align with this, like God made you, or you chose this, or you have a spirit team, or you believe in a higher power and this one creative source, they all kind of really have a similar story and theme of like, you are special, you are unique, you have this life to live. You were put here on purpose. And many people in the year 2024, in the last 4 years, are like, why? Why would you choose this? So we'll dive into that. Simply put, these are activating times. If you follow me on social media, you've been hearing me read and kick off a lot of my posts like that for years now. When big, specific things, tragedies, travesties, or events are happening on the planet, you will see a post coming from Jamie Rose Gray saying, these are activating times. Do not forget it. And some people will be activated by some things, and some people will be activated by other things. But regardless, together with millions of other souls, we're experiencing this like individual, global, and collective healing, initiation, awakening, whatever you want to call it, or D, all of the above. I know you're feeling it too. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you didn't believe otherwise. So, seriously, if you're maybe curious, maybe you're willing to explore the idea there may be more than meets the eye when living on planet Earth. And deep down, many of you believe you know you're here for something big. So, this period is also known as the Great Awakening. Some people call it the Quickening. You'll hear me reference the New Earth a lot. The New Earth is not really a thing as much as it is a paradigm, a visual, an ideal that many of us know we're like here to help create that new thing. What would the new world be if we had choice and the ability to take action, to create, to build a new place where we could all live in collective freedom, love? What would that look like? So many of you, you are the builders of that new earth. And there are many different forms of builders. I'll probably have an entire episode based on the New Earth. I'm not going to go there now, but these are some of the titles you'll hear me saying over the next few episodes, right? So a lot of us do believe this is a point in time where millions of souls have come here to help a new world on planet Earth, whether we're talking metaphorically, spiritually, figuratively, physically. I don't know. We'll see. But what it does encompass is the ability to embody higher levels of consciousness in hopes of living more harmoniously on the web of life, while also ascending and aligning with our cosmic influence. Casual, right? LOL. No, this shit's deep, man. And this has also been prophesied by ancient civilizations and many world religions for millennia now. Somehow they could all see this coming, right? So I am here to remind you that millions, if not billions, of us, of souls, have signed up and lined up to come here on the planet during this influential period of time. So what I mean by this is you chose this. We chose this. Years ago, I wanted to know why. You may be asking that yourself now. Why the fuck would I choose to come here in this time? And I think there's a lot of doom and gloom around this entire situation. And obviously, I mean, you can look around and have a million examples backing that up. But at the same time, the more and more I would do this like spiritual soul work, and I've been studying world religions and metaphysics since I was a teenager. Um, you start to realize like actually how powerful of a soul and spirit you have to be to even make it through the birth and incarnation and the younger years on this planet. So if you're listening now, or if anyone needs a pep talk out there, it's like actually you're not this weakling on planet Earth who's just paying taxes, watching TV, and getting ready to die. You're a badass. You're a spiritual, mystical, cosmic fucking badass. Sorry for swearing twice on the call already, but here we are. And you came down to do this, to play out something powerful and important. So let's freaking do it. I'll explain more over the next few episodes and in my book, especially if you're wondering why we would volunteer for this wild, challenging, and beautiful experience. But regardless, we are here to enjoy a myriad of experiences. So this is where when I go deeper into soul purpose over the next few chapters, breaking that down, next few episodes too, I want you to understand that it is not a one size fits all. Some are here to explore, some are here to heal, some are here to teach, some are here to invent, some are here to lead, some to cure. Some will be finding things. Some will be feeling fear. Some will be feeling joy. I mean, we're all here to feel both of those things. Some will be coming down here just to be and to embody deeply, greatly. Some are here to challenge the status quo. Some are here to activate. Some are here to burn it down, baby. Some are here to love, and lots, lots more. So for many people incarnated this lifetime, it will be just a deep healing. They're here for just a deep healing, clearing up karma, healing lineages, lifetimes, ancestral lines, backward and forward. For some, this lifetime is an activation. They are activators. They're here to activate. They're here to initiate. They're here to help move people along themselves and others, move them along to the next thing. They're here to burn this down, wake this up, kick these doors down. A lot of the indigo souls were here for that time. I'm an indigo soul. There's loads of other souls. Maybe that will be another episode. The crystal children, the indigo children, all that. Some are here, their lifetime is simply an initiation for impacting other ones of your lifetimes or specific areas on the planet. I'm talking earthwork. Uh, we'll get deeper into that, but that can even look like, when you go somewhere and it activates or initiates something in you. Let's say, you go to France and you're like, oh my God, I'm home, but you just stepped off the plane and you've never been there, right? That's an initiation somewhere, and you might just be returning. I understand that, but sometimes it kicked off something within you. Sometimes going to a specific place on Gaia, on planet Earth, on Mama Earth, kicks off an entire field, I want to say a field of events. You know what I mean? Not even a chain of events, like a field of events. Some people have just come to do that and initiate around the world doing things like that. And that's why I'm bringing Gaia into this, because this isn't just about the soul work. This is, again, like I said, what we have to do and where we have to go and what we have to become on this planet. She has her own consciousness, her own life force, her own life source. And Gaia is too having her own upgrade, her own initiation, her own activation. She is raising in consciousness and becoming a star herself. So again, if you are here during these times, you are a warrior, a warrioress of a soul here, and you've been chosen most likely by your star family and by your soul family. And like you volunteered to do this. It's time we start owning that. For some people, this lifetime will be a completion. And I bring this up because I don't mind talking about death and grief. And I've had quite the experience with those things. You'll hear about that later in my stories. But Some people are here to complete things. Sometimes it will be completing karma, some will be completing tasks, some will be completing missions, and some will be completing the incarnations on the planet. I mean, they will never incarnate on this planet again. Woo! Some deep shit, right? For many, this will be a revolution. Many, many, many souls came here for the revolution, which I'm recording this in spring of 2024. And you can see this being played out around the world. We're not having these little revolutions in small pockets anywhere. We are now part of global revolutions. This is huge, right? And most likely, if you're feeling activated by that, you came here for that. So listen, even though this all may sound romantic and dreamy, and a time when we all show up to help the planet looking like Care Bears and Captain Planets. Who are my Captain Planet people, kids of the 80s? Here to save the day. It can actually feel super uncomfortable, horrifically intense, and dreadful most days. I'll say it. I don't mind saying it. This is not easy work. If I've learned anything over the last decade of learning and leading in this department, it's that there will be expansions and contractions on this ride, my friend. Okay. Uh, Expansions and contractions is something I love to talk about in Soul Purpose. We'll go there again later in episodes, but just take that with you even right now. Doing something like a check-in right now. And am I currently in an expansion energy right now? A neutral energy right now where it's like, like I feel good, I feel okay, I don't feel bad, I don't feel good, I don't feel like I'm expanding, I don't feel like I'm contracting, I'm just kind of here. Those are good, those are needed. You rest in those moments because the opposite is then a contraction when everything either isn't going well or things are happening or right? Sometimes you can feel these within the day, the week. Sometimes these feelings last for weeks or months. And really, if you look back, you can even probably see when you had like a 2-year contraction period where everything was just like coming to an end or burning down or ending. But then the year after that was such an expansive year. You're like, oh, yeah, I can see. I can now see, right? I promise you, it is worth it to actually be on that ride in life versus people who are maybe just trying to hold it all together because everything's fine. Everything's fine, right? No, everything is not fine. And we're here to do something about it. If you're listening to this podcast or reading my book, you are here to do something about it, okay? So I also will be keeping this accurate for you, trying to keep it as accurate as possible during this entire process. I will not sit here and tell you that it's going to feel good all the time. I'm not one of those people. Why? Because it's discomfort, not comfort, that paves the path to our personal growth, right? So unfortunately, we're still in like a level of consciousness on the planet where pain and pressure rule the realm, and we're seeing that greatly right now. And I don't even have to explain myself there. You like know what I mean. And I'm going to keep talking about that too. All right. So if you're curious, let's go back to the Great Awakening. If you're curious, like how this shows up and how people are experiencing this and how we're choosing to manifest this in the world around us, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of a list of examples of the Great Awakening. Okay. One, all of these institutions that are no longer serving us have already begun to crumble. Look around. The financial institutions, our education systems, our healthcare, our housing, loads of other things. It's all starting to crumble, right? You might be here to help with that. Thank you. Please listening, get involved, reach out to me if you need help with that. Two, we're facing a disastrous global energy crisis. And we're having to face our obsessions that are continuing to give it life and make it worse, make that crisis worse. Now, listen, I don't affiliate with any specific party, let's say here. So I'm not going to get into like, and I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories. Like I'm not going to go there with you because I try not to live in an echo chamber, right? I'm not in one box. You can't put me in a box, and I'm not just going to regurgitate and listen to and make myself safe and comfortable with people who believe the same as me. I listen to what everyone's saying. Like I'll watch and listen and observe what's going on. And so I'm not saying anything specifically about this like global energy crisis because I think there are a lot of propaganda around it. There's a lot of initiatives or programming around it. So I'll just leave that there. But I will tell you, right, that it our obsessions that make us feel good with buying things that are filling up holes inside of us that we don't want to look at has a weighted cost to it. And that weight is in energy, it's in heat. I just went science on you real quick. It's heat, right? And we've got a lot of it, and we're just obsessively on this wheel. So I'm bringing this up again. It's earth work, baby, right? I can't write a book like this and not talk about the polycrisis of events, right? Genocide to ecocide to matricide to infanticide to suicide. There's a lot going on. All right. That's all energy. That's all energy. This is what I mean when I say global energy crisis. You feeling me? Okay, moving on. 3, we're waking up to the broad scale of humanitarian issues we're seeing worldwide. Okay, I basically just explained that in that last point. 4, we're grieving the diminishing numbers of life on planet Earth, which we hear about and witness to the animal kingdom, the planet kingdom, and the human kingdom. It's the animal kingdom, but with humans. Because we're so globally connected and everything can be digitally uploaded within seconds, we're actually watching this happen before our eyes. Loads of things are dying, right? From all of the greenery on the planet that we're wiping out to again fill those obsessive cycles, right? To the dehumanization and killing each other on levels because it's wanted, warranted, or needed. Yo, we got some shit to work through here, okay? What am I at? 5, we're seeing these in positions of power. This is a big one. Positions of power having their greed and self-centered intentions illuminated for the world to see. I'm going to go there talking light and dark big time with you guys, right? So we are seeing this darkness come to light, and any of these positions of powers and these institutions and these politics and the this and that, right? We are seeing this come to light, and the greed or the power and the want and the intention that, oh, I could go on and on, but I'm gonna pull myself back here because I want to continue on. And I know you're getting fired up as you're listening to me because this is what I do. This podcast will be an activator for many of you. We're also seeing the delusions and the illusions at an all-time high, while simultaneously the smoke screens are coming down, baby. The veils are getting thinner and thinner. This is all everything. You might be like, oh my God, where are we? We just went in so many directions. What is she talking about, right? Yeah, I'm going to say those words again. Delusions, illusions, all-time high. Smoke screens coming down, all this stuff that has been going on behind closed doors and under the rug and behind the scenes is coming to light. Again, in all of those places I just talked about above. The last one here is I will continue to talk about this because I help people with spirit releasement therapy, and I do a lot of mystical and magical work. I do a lot of soul, like really intense soul clearing for people. And I have to also say that, but dark forces controlling many of the issues stated above are at an all-time high and are finally coming into the light for all to see. And many of you hearing this right now know your soul is here to help with that. Reach out to me. If you feel alone on that journey, you reach out to me and I will plunk you into communities that can handle that for you, my friend. Okay. So this is me very quickly trying to sum up for the sake of this podcast. All these things that explain this whole like the great awakening. See why I like to use the word awakening, the great awakening. But you can also see how this symbolizes the great unraveling, right? So besides these bigger world examples, this awakening is also happening in your families, in your homes, and in your hearts. This is as much of an inside job as it is an outside job. If anything, you need to start with you first. It's so easy to get like looped in to what's going on out there and what we're witnessing out there. But if you're not doing that work in you and in your home, you're actually just causing more chaos on the planet. And yeah, it's so easy to point across the country and go, these people are this, and we need to focus on this, but you won't deal with the own shit in your house. Right? Or you want people to put up boundaries elsewhere, but you won't put them in your family. Right? So there's a lot of that going on too. So I'll remind you that every angle, every body, every living thing in every corner of the world will need your help and your love and your attention for this process, and starting with you first, which is why we are so needed in this now moment and why you've been called to rise into the light. Yes, I understand that the totality of it can be too much to bear. I get you. I get you. It may be driving you crazy. It may have you running for the hills. It may have you laying in bed with your pillow over your head. I don't blame you, but I can't hide. Can you? I'm here to help. What about you? So, yes, lately, every day, it seems like there's something ready to be dismantled and reborn in our current reality. We are on a fast track towards total transformation. We will continue to see things crumble and fall from all angles, all sides, at a rate and speed that is continuously accelerating. But listen, we're already past the tipping point. I truly believe that. Do you? We are already past the tipping point, and there is no stopping it, right? It's like full steam ahead. This is the pressure cooker. This is the delicate dance, but we are in it. You are not alone. I will continue to remind you of this over these episodes. You are not alone. At this point, I want to state that I am not here to use fear or make people scared. Like, that's not the point of my books, my work, my courses, this podcast. But I can't do something like write a book or host a podcast without addressing these current concerns on planet Earth, because this is all connected. And I'm an Earth Guardian. It's all connected. As above, so below. I don't mind talking about the more challenging subjects. Really, I like them. I love them. I enjoy them. And that's why I'm a leader. So where do you need to admit this in your own self? What topics have you been avoiding connecting to, talking about, writing about, sharing about, opening up about? Because it may be too much for someone else, or you are scared of the backlash. Yeah, I mean, that's a real concern. That's fine. But humans are judging. A lot of women come to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm so scared of being judged." It's like, it's a human condition right now. People judge. If you really sit down and admit to yourself, you're judging every day anyway too. So it's like you're going to be judged, right? You're going to be talked about. You're going to be snickered at. People are going to talk shit. Mm. Honestly, it becomes your power. It becomes energy in the spirit bank, I call it. Money in the spirit bank. It's also called good press. If people are talking about you, imagine what they're feeling inside about the things you're talking about. Or maybe it's just the reflection of you doing the damn thing, saying the thing, going and doing that, leaving that, becoming that. That is triggering and giving them a permission for themselves to also step into that power, step into that freedom. How could we deny people of that? You get what I'm saying? So I am grounding in the share. I feel grounded in this sharing with you because we're rewriting these stories. We're creating the future, aka the new earth, together. So let's go into the powerful side of this. What do these new stories look like? You're like, Jamie, okay. Well, we just said all that. We just went all there. Yeah, I see it. Yes, I feel it. Holy shit. We're alive. What do some of these stories look like of rewriting this and creating the new earth? One, we're learning new ways to harmoniously and symbolically live with the new earth and her energies. I mean, living closer to the planet again, understanding our role in the web of life again, resulting in less harm and disease worldwide, resulting in a more joyous, enjoyable, right? I keep using that word, joy, 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 enjoying ourselves while we're here, living more openly, living more compassionately, but also intentionally and purposefully. Yeah, big stories to be written there. Are you part of that? Two, we aim to make life more peaceful and enjoyable for all inhabitants on the planet. More people living in creative freedom. So needed. More people living in play. We need that because that means more inventions. That means more high vibe technology. That means more things we need to help us clean up this mess that we've got ourselves into, right? Three, we recognize the importance of witnessing, healing, releasing what is needed for us on the planet. Aligning with your soul purpose and your unique earth mission will actually help reduce the distortion and the static energy in your field, which will then lessen the distortion on earth. That will give you a profound sense of purpose and peace. Four, people are aligning with their unique light and their true north. This is why I do this work. They are standing in their sovereignty and taking control of their lives in the best way possible. Deep down, we came here to witness the magical and beautiful time on planet Earth. It is an exciting time to be alive. So at this point, you might be asking, wait, what does this have to do with business? Or what am I here to do? Or how can I help? How many people just feel useless right now? I've heard a lot of, Jamie, I don't know what to do. Like I see these things happening and like I want to, but like I don't know what to do, right? Or a lot of people are asking right now, what is the point of life? Did we seriously come down here to witness this and have no say over it? Right? Or some people asking me, how do we thrive or even survive through this, Jamie? I get it. Let's take a deep breath together. I get it. I want to acknowledge again for our central nervous systems, please, that we are all in this together, that you are not alone. Okay. Furthermore, those of us that can turn our lights on now need to, as it will help make it a bit less dark out there. And how do you do that? Sounds all fancy. Just turn your light on, right? Listen, you do this by simply being you. Not the you in boxes, not the you that society wants you to be, not the you that you've been programmed or trained to be, but instead embodying the highest, most authentic version of you, the deepest, most enlivened version of you and your light and your life more and more each day. It's actually a dial. It's not like, full spirit of mine, come into me now, and you accept 100%. No, you would implode. You would ascend at that. But 1% more. Anytime you can feel your body and energy field able, if you have made the space to do so, 1% more at a time, like a dial, is the way to do that. Right? And I'm going to remind you, if you're on this podcast, you're either heading towards this or you have already done this. This is why you did all those years of healing and all those years of shadow work and all of that emotional exploration. That's why you fixed all those patterns and you've been doing all that repatterning in your ancestral work to your neurological work. And this is you calling on your light. Doing that work helps you make space so you can embody your light more and more. So where are you with that dial? Could you turn that and shift that just 1% more today, right now? Listening to this? This is why you signed up for those certifications, my friend. This is the other people, right? This is why you signed up for those certifications, why you read all those books, why you went on those retreats, why you went soul searching, while you got that healing and therapy and help. Who in my listener crew, it's like, I've been doing this for years. Yeah, you have. I see you. I witness you. I can feel you right now. We did this so that one day we could hold the vibration of being healed and loved and being the light so strong in our own fields that it inspires others to do the same. It's because all this work and our ability and personal choice to hold the elevated states of emotion so that we can anchor them into the planet so there can be a global shift in consciousness. Yeah, rewind if you need to hear that again. Okay? So listen, I know that this is a lot. I know that it can feel insane most days. I know that this feels so intense. But I'm telling you, if you are and understand or experience or awakening to, or you are agreeing and screaming in your car right now or on your walk and you have this in your ear pods or you're listening and hiding this at work, LOL, keep up the excellent work. This is your energetic high five and pat on the back. And if I could be in front of you and give you a huge freaking hug now, I would. You are powerful. You are needed. Again, remember I said, it is time. Listen, taking personal responsibility is the quickest route, right? So trying to heal others, this is just a reminder, trying to heal others has little to no impact, whereas choosing to heal yourself is where the optimal experience is. So I will take this moment to remind you, keep going, hold your light up. We got this. All right. I know we could go like a million hours more into the Great Awakening. And I would love to have those conversations with you. And I would love to hear some questions from you. And I would love to have more of these conversations. So if you're hearing this, if you want to reach out to me, you can find my social media on Instagram. The handle is Launch Your Light. You can go onto those links there and get in touch with me. You can just message me right there. Okay. If you want me to be talking on your podcast, or you want to interview me on something, or you want me to host something, or you want me to be a guest, I do a lot of guest teaching and I've been on a lot of podcasts. As you can see, I love to talk about this stuff. Invite me. Even if you just if you're like, this episode just lit me up, just hit me up in a DM. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know how this affected you. And as you can see, there's so many great episodes to come in this podcast. Next episode, we'll be covering from soul to strategy. I just get so jazzed up for these topics. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this initiation and activation and listening about the Great Awakening and why you are so needed on the planet. We have come here to do this together. I will continuously remind you of that. If you need anything, reach out to me. You are not alone. I am here for you. It is time to launch your light. Talk soon.